Question 24, Don says, it seems to me that the drawings on each of these columns are identical, but that the left-hand column, that is one of the priestess left, has been shaded much darker, indicating that the events or the experiences may be identical in the incarnation, but may be approached and viewed and utilized with either polarity as the bias. Is this in any way correct? Ra says, this is correct. You will note also from the symbol denoting spirit in manifestation upon each pillar that the one infinite creator is not respecter of polarity, but offers itself in full to all. Yet another point to be made about the negative polarity, and at least in view of those who need to accept the negativity of the world, those who, which are many, especially on the positive path. I'm not sure why I said that, because everybody's on the positive path who is arguing against or having trouble with the negativity of the world. Those on the negative path are rejoicing in it. But I guess what I meant to say is that those on the positive path who are affected still by this, which is the vast majority initially, they need to understand that there is a negativity in this world. To accept that is to accept that they are the creator too, that it is all the creator. There is no individual beings doing something against the creator. It is the creator playing the game, playing police and thief, that kind of game, but a little bit more into the question of Don, which I think goes unacknowledged by the rest of what Ra is saying, which I'll get back to. But first, Don said, in essence, that both pillars have the same imagery. Now, if you look at it, you will see that, yes, it has a sort of same imagery, right? The same symbols and depictions on each pillar, but they are experienced differently. Much like when we look at catalyst, something happens in the world. Let's say a world event, like it happened in 2020, and everybody started interpreting it differently depending on their view. Well, in a much more general way, and yet the first division is, how do you perceive it? Do you perceive this negatively or positively? So all catalyst that is coming through is going with that intention. How will you face this? Will you face it with positivity or negativity? And that is the process of evolution, of course. We can't be forced to see things positively. Let me make this statement because I think it's important. For spiritual seekers, there seems to be a predilection for trying to always see things positively. Stop doing that. Now, I don't wish to infringe on free will. If you want to do that, you will learn eventually that it is not about forcing yourself to see things positively. I have to love everything. No, if you hate something, hate it. Look at it. Look at your hatred. Krishnamurti used to make this a very important point. He used to say, people are always, looking at, we have to be kind, we have to be loving, No, accept that you're a hateful person. Jesus actually said this, and I think this is canon, where he said, whoever doesn't hate their parents, doesn't hate their neighbors, and all these things. I love mystics, they're so contradictory. Whoever doesn't hate them, then they're not worthy of the kingdom of heaven. You see, it's there, it's plain sight. You have to face all your negativity. You have to face all of that. So it's fine, don't force yourself to be loving. I did that, and it was terrible. Experience showed me just by how I felt that it was just no way. I have to face my hatred and my jealousy and my envy and anything, my greed and all these things. They're there. Why would I hide them? They're going to start creating a cancer in me. I'm not talking about physical, but mental cancer, which can be actually experienced as physical cancer as well. But anyhow, yes, reality is being colored by polarity. So it's up to us to see how we look at it. And what else did Don say? Nothing else. But we can talk about then what I started this answer with, which was that the one infinite creator is no respecter of polarity, meaning that it doesn't have a preference. You see, that is, I believe, the symbol denoting spirit and manifestation is the Ankh, which is there in both pillars. So it means that symbol of spirituality shows that spirit is in everything. And again, like I said, this is a very hard to swallow pill for some people who, in a way, they look at, because that's what religion and frankly most spiritual traditions have always talked about. They neglect the negative path because they're not teaching it, of course. And so from an outside point of view, if we're not students, adepts, monks, nuns, or deep studies students of these teachings, then we may look at it as oh, there is only good in the world and it should be, so we don't understand why there's evil. This is a very common question that people who don't study the law of one and just start studying spirituality, their question inevitably is, why is there evil in the world if reality is love? And so non-duality, I love it because they say the same thing. You know, there is only consciousness. There is no such thing as evil. There are acts, and there are acts that are in accordance with the knowing that you are consciousness and awareness, and there are acts in ignorance, which are what we consider evil. But there should be seen as confused acts. When we act out of confusion, we're not being ourselves, you see, which goes in line with the law of one. I love non-duality, of course, because it is very practical and simple. It just says, if you become aware of who you are, can you do evil things? You couldn't. You could not do evil things, or what we think is evil, or wrong things. You cannot act confused when you are in clarity, period. So get in touch with who you are, and then not only will you clear out your supposed evil or dark things, but you will not be able to see in others. It won't be evil per se. It would be just, the lost sheep. That's what they are, the black sheep of the family. They're just confused. They don't know what they're doing. So again, we can look at it from this poetic perspective of it's the one infinite creator acting in both polarities.